Right. Let's get it. I messed up something. Hold on. 1 second. Let me get my Facebook Live set up like I'm supposed to. This is the NFL Kickoff Show with Coach Smith and Love the Game 24/7. And let's talk some NFL regular season. Preseason is over. It's time to get locked in for regular season. So I want to know if you guys are ready.
Are you ready?
Are you ready? I hope so. Um, I'm excited to get this kicked off for the night before the NFL kickoff, which is tomorrow night. And I want to be sure you guys are ready. So I want you to get excited because I don't know if I did a good job of letting you know as I shared some personal information about coming back from prostate cancer surgery. And maybe I didn't give enough excitement across the uh, podcast waves to let y'all know how excited Coach Smith is about being back, back in the loop and getting back to the show. So hey, let's get this thing going with yeah, I'm excited to kick off with some of my Run DMC. I'm excited. I am excited, y'all. Let's get it going. So I just wanted to give a little kickoff with some of that Run DMC. I hope you guys are excited about being on the show tonight with Coach Smith and Love the Game 24/7 as we talk about what's coming up uh, tomorrow night. And of course, you know, I never not go without talking about you young athletes out there, you young recruits out there, and some things you need to be working on and thinking about as you try to build your brand, gain exposure to the college recruiters to obtain you a uh, athletic college scholarship to pay for your education and also to open up other doors, right? But you know, I just want to let you guys know I'm excited, man, to be back in this chair, joining my Love the Game 24/7 audience, man. I'm live on Coach Smith 27 on IG. I'm live on my YouTube channel with Love the Game 24/7. I'm also live on Facebook. And so I hope you guys jump in and join the show, whether you watching this live or the recorded version, as I put it out on TikTok as well. On my Love the Game 24/7 TikTok. I'll put shorts out there to lead you back to the YouTube channel. So be sure you subscribe to my YouTube. Be sure you share this and get my viewership numbers continue to grow, and informing young athletes and parents about the college recruiting process for their young athlete, whether they're male or female, you know, boy or girl, middle school, right, high school. We have to start this process early, right? Because that's how some of these guys are able to play on Thursday and Friday night in the NFL or the WNBA or Major League Baseball that's happening, or the NHL or the U.S. Open in tennis. You know, watching Tiafo. I hate to see golf go down I thought she was gonna fight and get into that finals again, but hey, she had a great showing. Also, Madison Keys, I thought she was gonna do a good job, or she was doing a good job, and I thought she would get much farther along as well. But she put up a good fight. Um, so hey, maybe next time around or the next major tennis tournament, we'll see. Um, and also Stevens, I wanted to see her go farther, but I think she got put out early. Um, and so, but it's good to have some Americans showing up, going further in the U.S. Open. It's right here on home soil, so we need to be sure we have some great representation when we have our big tournaments, tennis tournaments, in like the U.S. Open. You know, Arthur Ashe was one of my favorite sports heroes. He was a young African American male that really um, looked out for others and pushed the envelope for civil rights, or rights for everyone to be treated um, fairly and equally and equal opportunity through tennis. And and he was a great spokesperson. He was a great ambassador for pro tennis, Arthur Ashe. And so that I know that one of that main tennis court there at the U.S. Open is named after Arthur Ashe. So for some of you young people who don't know who Arthur Ashe is, it may be good for you to Google him and watch some of the videos, watch some of his interviews, and watch how much he loved and cared about everybody and fought for everybody to have equal opportunity and equal rights to be successful. And he did it through his platform as a pro tennis player in breaking down barriers. So I've been watching some of the U.S. Open. I've been flipping through channels, watching WNBA when I can catch some of that as well. Even CFL, Canadian Football League. I'll soak it all in. Watching my Tampa Bay Rays, I'll get them in as well and watch some of them. But I wanted to get a quick show in tonight, because man, like I said, preseason is over for the NFL. Um, that week off that they had, and I'm sure it's much needed for those guys to get ready for this long season. And so it kicks off tomorrow night, guys, with Kansas City Chiefs and the Baltimore Ravens. You couldn't ask for two greater stars in the NFL to be kicking off the NFL season with Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson. Uh, he's a hometown Florida uh, kid, which is where I reign from as well, state of Florida. Great football, great athletes all throughout the state. And Mahomes being a Texas kid, great athletes as well come out of that state. But so it's exciting to see the Chiefs and the Ravens going at it tomorrow. So who do you got? You know, Share about who you think might win this. So leave a comment in the comment section. Whether you watch this live, um, you know, um, who do you have winning? Who you got? Right? You got the Chiefs or the Ravens? So I'm putting that in the chat right now. Who you got? With the Chiefs versus the Ravens. I'm putting that in my questions on Facebook. You put Chiefs and Ravens for the choices. So I'm doing a little poll on my Facebook. That's what I'm trying to create, this poll. Tomorrow night. That's why I like this stuff, man, because you can do this stuff while you're on your show live, organic. Yes, sir. All right, simply Ash, right? Appreciate you joining me, my friend. Appreciate you joining me, my sisters. So I'm doing a poll on my Facebook. So be more than happy to share, whether you're live on IG with me right now or Facebook or my YouTube channel. Who do you have, for tomorrow night to kick off the season? Share your thoughts. I'm real interested to know who you might be picking. What's your pick? I know later on tonight, me and some of my cohorts will be doing our fantasy. So we'll be taking care of business with that before this thing get uh, get kicked off tomorrow. So got to get my fantasy stuff in on ESPN. But yeah, um, so yeah, man. So like I said, I shared my personal battle and journey with prostate cancer, and coming through surgery 3 weeks ago, and I'm feeling pretty good. Still taking it slow. But I may not have let on how excited I am when I opened up the show um, this past week, this past weekend. But I'm excited, guys. I'm excited, like I said, to be back in this chair and be talking to you guys and be trying to help young athletes, boys and girls, young ladies, young men, achieve their dream, their goal of playing in a situation like Thursday night football or whatever sport it is that you're playing. Tennis, like I said, I've been watching the U.S. Open. I've been watching, um, WNBA, all those things. And you, as a young athlete, you ought to take advantage of this. Remove some of those distractions. I know you got the PlayStation and all that stuff with the new college game coming back out, which is awesome, and it's a good tool to help teach the game. All those games are good with teaching whatever sport you play, and it's cool to do those things. But but sometimes you got to take a break from those things and sit in front of that TV and learn from the best, right? Because you always hear the term people saying, "Hey, you got to be a dog," right? You got to be a dog when you're competing, and that's whether you're a young lady or a young man. It doesn't matter, right? And it's a decision. And to become a dog on the field, you gotta make a decision. That's all it is. You can't teach being a dog. You gotta want to be a dog. You gotta want to be great. That's what being a dog is. You want to be great in your sport. You want to get 1% better every day, young athletes, right? You want to keep track of things, right? How many passes did I drop today, right? Did I run hard doing my laterals for at track and field practice, right? Did I really put out like I need to, put out? Like I said, I enjoyed watching the Olympics, all the sports, but definitely the track and field, right? And you always want to ask yourself, hey, did I get better today? Right? Did I really commit myself to being a dog and being great, where I'm at, right? And sometimes great don't mean everybody got to know your name, but eventually they will, right? So you got to start somewhere. You got to start the groundwork somewhere. So it's not something you can be taught. It's something you have to decide that you want to do. And if you want to be a dog, you got to hang around some dogs, right? And a dog is not a bully. A dog is somebody who's putting in that extra work, who's totally committed, to want to be great at what they do, right? And at their craft, right? To use it to help take you places, right? That you otherwise may not be able to reach. Okay, if you didn't make that commitment. Hold on one second. So I just wanted to um, be sure I clarify to you young athletes and parents about what a dog is, what a dog mentality is. It's a mindset, right? It's a decision that you have to make every day you wake up, right? What are the things you're going to do? Ask yourself, what are you willing to do? What are you willing to do to help, you know, um, you build relationships with these college recruiters in your sport, that are going to be recruiting you. Ask yourselves that question. What am I committing to? What am I willing to do? Right? It's great that we have social media to help you, start a relationship with a college recruit in your sport at the various schools. And you got to have multiple relationships at these institutions. It can't just be the offense or the head coach or the offensive coordinator or the defensive coordinator or your position coach, because they have grad assistants who are trying to make a name for themselves, and that grad assistant is trying to make a name for him or herself. They're going to be trying to find, hey, I want to bring in some talent that's going to help our program, right? So I want to be able to find somebody because they're always looking to turn over a stone that they may have missed, right? And then if you're a grad assistant and you have a good eye for some talent, you're going to review. They're going to be reviewing film. So you, as a young athlete, when you reach out to some of these colleges, you got to reach out to multiple people, right? The head coach doesn't always have time to look at stuff, and it goes the same for the coordinators, right? So sometimes a lot of this stuff is put on grad assistants. Okay. They have a recruiting department where there are some guys that may not coach a position, but they're called a coach because they eventually want to be coaching, move up and coach at a position. But some of these coaches will start out as, as recruiting coordinators. whether they're directors or assistant directors for the recruiting, or player personnel or operations, so sometimes, you got to make sure you don't leave any stone unturned, right? So you got to ask yourself, what do I need to commit myself to help me learn how to build relationships? And it can't just be social media. It's a good start. It's helping you get connected to some people that make decisions a lot faster than what it was when I grew up. Not having that, but now that we do have social media, that's great. And we have these tools that can help us, you know, move a little faster and a little quicker. But aside from that, people want to know the real you. They want to be able to see you face to face. They want to see you at camps on a regular basis, right? They want to be sure that you are DMing them, because so that means we're having a genuine conversation, that I'm DMing a coach and they're DMing me back, right? Direct messaging, right? And so also, but you need to sometimes be sure you go and meet somebody, go to a game, go to a college game, and do an unofficial visit to where you get to meet the coaches at your in your sport, right? It's on your ticket. Sometimes parents, you got to make that sacrifice, right? And you can find a lot of good deals on flights sometimes to send your athlete, whether you go with them or not, or you send some of them together, and then the coaches will be looking out for you know your athlete, your young athlete, young man or young lady that's coming up there. But more than likely, as a parent, somebody should escort them so they'll be taken care of, or you have somebody like a position coach that they work with, or a trainer, that can do it as well. So you want to do things like that to be sure that they're safe. Um, but you got to ask yourself, young athlete, what am I going to commit myself to help me build a relationship? And you got to know how to you got to know how to build relationships with people, right? Genuine relationships, where you're, like, I'm talking to you guys right now, right? You see me, this is live, or whether you're watching this as a recording. You got to learn the techniques. You got to learn the strategies, right? You got to be willing to get out of your shell, out of your comfort zone. I used to tell my athletes when I coach here, a couple of years back when I was coaching back home in Florida, you got to learn how to get comfortable with being uncomfortable, because you see the big picture. You understand the big picture. That's why you need something like Love the Game 24/7 and Coach Smith here to help coach you up and help share with you why those things are important and how it's going to help you market yourself, right? And push yourself and get out of your comfort zone. I wasn't always comfortable with being, you know, in front of the camera and talking, but after I got started, hey, it's great because I understand what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to build, a presence. I'm trying to build, my brand on helping, you. Um, Young athletes and parents understand how to navigate through this overwhelming process of recruiting, because college is expensive, and whatever you can do to help you minimize your cost out of your physical pocket as a parent and even as a student, um, without having to borrow money and all those things, making sure you're getting your grades, because you can sometimes get academic money because you got grades to help that coach say, "Oh man, I got a student. They have good grades, so I can get them some academic money, so I don't have to use all of my athletic money, so I can get as many players as possible." Because everybody's not going to be on a full scholarship. Some coaches might want 2 for 1. I might give two 50% scholarships so I can get two players instead of one, because I got these two players that would have great grades coming out of high school, and I can get them some academic money because that coach can go negotiate with the admissions director or VP to say, "Hey, would you be willing to work with me, because these two very good athletes, young ladies that I want to bring in on my volleyball team or my swim team or my golf team or whatever, can I get them some academic money, because I'm trying to lessen the burden on the parents, because I really want them here and I really want to sell this program to this family, so I can get this athlete to come to this institution. It's going to help better my program, and help grow my program, help grow my golf team, help grow my tennis team, help grow my track team. You know, that's you know, that's what these coaches try to do. And so if you can show how that you're valuable, if you can show that you're a dog, right? Because you're willing to be 1% better every day, you're willing to not allow yourself to get distracted. You're starting to hang around other athletes who are dogs, where they're totally committed and they're just zoned in and focused. Having good relationships with teammates and other other students and other athletes. But if you're going to be a dog, because I said, like I was saying earlier, it's not something you can teach. It's something you got to make your mind up that you want to do to get you where you want to be and open up doors for where you ultimately want to be. Okay, in your sport, in your career, even after this time when your sport is over, whatever the case may be, you got to be a dog, man. You know, young lady, you gotta be willing to make some sacrifices. You gotta be willing, okay? And like I said, a dog is not somebody who's a bully. A dog is somebody who's committed, sold out to be in that gym, in that weight room, taking care of their body, taking care of their mental health, right? Doing the things that they need to do because it can get overwhelming. So you need some genuine relationships, right? So you can help each other, right? Help each other make it, help each other be successful. You can hold each other accountable. Hey man, I see you slacking. Don't slack today. you know. And hey, if you need to get some treatment for, somewhere where you're hurting, be sure you show up early and get that stuff taken care of, and stay on top of that. Because eventually that pain or hurt that you're feeling from competing in your sport will eventually subside and go away because you're dedicated to making sure, hey, I'm seeing the trainer like I'm supposed to. I'm doing the things that the trainer told me I need to do to help my ankle get better or my knee or whatever the situation is. I'm making sure during the off season I have integrity, that I followed the workout program, and I did a little extra to be sure that I got bigger, stronger, and faster, right? And when you do those things, it's going to help you limit having injuries because everybody's going to have to play hurt at some point or not. I shared that recently on my podcast, right? So I didn't want to just have this NFL kickoff show because I'm all excited about, hey, um, the season starting, but I also always want to drop a nugget in here for you young athletes and you parents because you don't know what you don't know. Okay, you don't know what you don't know, and you always need somebody that you can, or several people. I'm a person of faith, so I read my scriptures and my Bibles and all those things, and I know the Bible tells me, you know, um, you need to get much counsel before you make a decision. You need to have uh, several people you can get counsel from. You know, and so I'm a confident believer in that. Um, that before making a decision, you need to get counsel, much counsel. Like I said, the scriptures that I read because as being a man of faith and trusting God and trusting in my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, I just straight up, I just get in my word, and also helps me keep my mind clear and focused. Helps me, limit my distractions, helps me keep healthy relationships, helps keep myself in check. If I'm not being a good friend like I should be, or whatever the case, or helping me, keep my attitude in check. Nobody's perfect. We all gonna make mistakes, but you got to find those things that's gonna help you be that dog that you need to be and get and be 1% better every day, and making sure that you keep track. I know I used to do that. When I would go to practice, I'm like, man, I'm not dropping any ball. I'm not. I would tell my kids, don't say I'm not dropping any balls. I would say I'm catching everything today. Everything. That's the mentality you got to have. Not say I'm not going to drop any balls today, because to me, saying I'm not going to drop is still a negative. I want to keep it positive. I want to keep my mind thinking positively, right? So I would tell myself, I'm making every catch today. I'm running my routes, man, with perfection today. I'm making sure I give the moves that I need to give. I'm giving all the fakes that I need to do. Making sure I'm stemming a guy up, so he's not really sure which direction I'm going to go. I'm making sure I'm sinking the hips, right, bending the knees and sinking the hips. Doing those things I need to do. When I was running track, I made sure, man, I would put out when it was time to run, our hundreds and 200s. I always wanted to be one of the guys at the front of the line and not in the back of the line, the middle or the back. I'm always competing to be up front with the guys who were fast, because at times I was the fastest, and I didn't want to. And when I was one of those guys who was the fastest on the team, I would push my other teammates and say, "Look, come catch me. Let's go. I'm trying to push y'all, because I would expect you to do the same thing for me if you were the person who was the fastest on the team." And then when I uh, got to college, and you meet guys who is just as fast as you are, faster, but I'm right on their tail. I'm right there on their hip because I want them to push me. I need to be pushed, right? And so we need to make sure we do that. That you do that. Um, so that's all. I'm wanting you guys to get some understanding. You young athletes. I got some people I think that are um, answering my question on who do you have. Let me see what some folks are saying. No, I can't do it right now because I'm on my live, so I don't want to mess up, get myself kicked off my live on Facebook. I'll have to look at the poll later. But I appreciate you guys who are responding to that question about who you got in the Chiefs with the Ravens tomorrow night. That's cool, and I look forward to seeing what's going to happen tomorrow night, man, as this season gets going. And so that's kind of really, I just want to just get on here, man, and just see see if you guys out there are excited about the NFL season getting ready to get kicked off. You know, you got your fantasy in place. Have you done that? Have you picked your teams or your players? If you created your name and all that stuff, some of you young athletes, you should be doing it as well. And I'm sure some of you all are, because it kind of helps you also um, in um, in helping you learn more about the game and help you follow some players who you may not normally follow. And you get some information about a young athlete. So it's always cool to do the fantasy things. And I don't gamble, but I just I like doing the fantasy because it teaches you about player personnel, teaches you about you know uh, players, what ability and what you need trying to build your team, um, what kind of stats somebody's going to turn out for you and help you um, get points and all those things. And you learn how to find talent as well, being you, because you're like a GM when you do fantasy. You're almost becoming like a GM of your own team, and it teaches you to start looking and watching certain players that you may not otherwise watch, and you not even realize that there's some guys out there that's pretty solid, that's pretty good, and making a name for themselves. And so you can learn and follow them and look them up and see what their history was and how did they make it where they got, going through high school and college recruiting, and then making it to the pros. Same thing goes for the young ladies. Um, so you can do the same thing with the WNBA or tennis or whatever it may be. I mean, it's cool. You ought to look at, like I said, Coco Golf. I was hoping that she would have gone further. Some of you young ladies, I know you look up um, to her in Osaka. I think I pronounced her name right. These are some strong, great tennis players out there. And so, but that's what it's all about. Whatever it is you can tap into, young athlete. And as I posed that question earlier, you got to ask yourself, what are you going to be committed to become that dog that you need to be, to gain some exposure, to help you market yourself, right? To get more exposure to these college recruiters and learn that it's more than just one or a couple of people that you might need to send an email to or follow on Twitter, or Instagram, because most of these coaches in college, for whatever sport, male or female, they are on Twitter, they're on X, and you need to be following them. You need to be posting as much as possible your stats and all those different things. And sometimes, in a lot of cases, it's not about wins or losses with your high school, but it's about how do you respond when you're winning and losing. Are you still putting out? Are you still putting forth that effort? Or are you sinking back or shrinking back because, oh man, we're not doing that well? But what are you going to do to help things turn around? Right. So it's not just about you and your scholarships. But what legacy are you leaving back at your high school? What kind of work ethic are you exemplifying to those younger teammates who look up to you? Right. No matter how the season's going, whether things are going great or whether things are not going so great, are you still putting out? Are you still that dog? Are you still, like, when I pull up and look at your video, I can see that you're a man. You're a man amongst boys, or you're a woman amongst girls in your sport. Because when I pull up that video, if you are that person, if you are that dog, if you are that guy, if you are that girl, are you showing me when I watch your film? Am I seeing you playing at a whole nother level than everybody else, than most people on that video when I watch you and your sport, to see if you are capable of playing at the next level? That's where your mind has to be. I don't care what the season's going like, what the game is going like. Are you still putting out? Are you still being that dog? Have you still made that decision? Right? Did you still make that decision that, hey, I'm gonna be a dog regardless of what's happening? I'm gonna do everything I can, because there's ebbs and flows, right? There's ups and downs. There's momentum changes in sports, right? No matter what sport you playing, you know. I didn't think Tiafo was gonna win for a minute there last night when I was watching the U.S. Open, right? Because there's ups and downs, and you have to be able to, at a moment's edge, when you got to look for that next advantage that you can get to get your momentum back turned around in your favor. And so you have to be locked in. right? You can't have a pity party and live there, right? You can have it for a short minute, but it can only last for so long. That pity party can only last for so long. It can't last the whole time, and you'll see that sometimes where some athletes, no matter what sport it is, that if they live there, things don't usually turn out right, you know. And even if you don't live there and you focus, it may not turn out right at that moment, but maybe the season will turn around because you are that locked in, you are that committed, you are that focused about making the decision to not live in a pity party situation because that game, didn't go as well, or that play didn't go as well. You got to have a short memory for good plays and bad plays because you got to be ready to turn back around and let's do it again, right? But definitely when you make great plays, you want to use it as momentum. And then if you do make a bad play, you got to learn how to use that as momentum and turn it around and say, okay, let me get my head back straight because I know I'm gonna get another opportunity in this game to make up for that bad play I just had. I know I'm gonna get another opportunity, and I got to be ready for that opportunity when it comes, right? So I just want to let you guys know I want to come back on here because I know I didn't look like I did a really good job of letting you guys know I was excited about being back in this chair and doing the podcast with show and love the game 24/7. But I'm going to be doing another live with a former college teammate of mine, Jason Thomas, who lives in Finland, and he's been in Finland, man. Jason's been in Finland for over 20 years, teaching American football, coaching and playing. He's still playing sometimes at 50 plus years old. He is this young brother, and he looks good too. He's still out there playing because he's been doing it for years and teaching American football. And he's going to be on my podcast on Sunday. It'll be like 7 o'clock his time, and because they're like 7 hours ahead of us in Finland, so it'll be like 12 our time here on Sunday, this coming Sunday. So I'm going to be interviewing him to talk about, his recruiting experience coming out of high school because he grew up out in California, LA area, talking about his recruiting experience and how he got at Morningside College, now called Morningside University, formerly known as the North Central Conference NCAA Division II football program when we were there playing. He's going to talk about that. He's also going to talk about, how the game American football has spread it um, in Europe since he's been there. How big the game has gotten in Europe, and even having some players that he's had the pleasure of knowing and even coaching that have gotten scholarships to come over to the U.S. So that's why I'm telling you guys the game is international now. It's no longer just in the U.S. I grew up in Tampa Bay area, St. Petersburg, and just over the bridge, the Skyway Bridge, was IMG Academy. And I remember when we played them their first 2 years in high school football when they started their football program. And we took it to them. They had some really good talent, but we still took it to them and had them beat both years. Um, but the program has definitely gotten better because they're no longer a part of the Florida High School Association because they recruit kids from all over the world who want to play American football, and they have more than one team now as well. At the time we started out playing them, they only had one team, IMG Academy in Sarasota, just across the bridge from my hometown in St. Pete. But just want to inform you guys, Jason can talk about that, about how some of those European players have made it over to the U.S. Right, and it's not easy for them sometimes to get over here to the U.S. and get a college scholarship. But it's happening, right? It's happening more and more. So you got to learn, you know, and ask yourself, what are some things that I need to do as a young person to be sure I'm building a good relationship with a college recruiter, the director of recruiting, right? The, with the head coach, with the position coach, with the GA, all those people get business cards when you go to these camps, right? To the college camps, and you got to go to the college camps. You just can't go to the offense defense camps. You got to go to those things that we do as well. But you need to, especially when you're younger and starting out and trying to learn the techniques of the game. Um, but you want to do it. Come to offense defense, even if you're in high school. But you definitely want to get to the college camps. Okay, at least by your um, you know ninth and 10th grade year, you should be hitting some of the college camps, and you should be hitting things like offense and defense. So you can help them get a rating and all those different things as well, and build your resume, right? Build your visibility. right? So your name gets out there more, and be more recognizable in your sport, whatever it is. So those are some things that I just wanted to um, just come talk about this evening on tonight's podcast. Just want to be sure you young athletes out there, football season has started, school has started back, Labor Day is over, right? We're back in the full swing of things with being in school and practicing and having your schedule set, making sure you're eating properly, make sure you're getting proper rest, right? Making sure you're fueling yourself up the day before practice, day before games, all those different things. And then there's a time when you do need to rest, right? You need to take it easy. Even from the recruiting thing, sometimes you might need to take a few days off from doing things, but then you got to hop back on that saddle, right? Because you got to market yourself. It's a job, right? And it's a rewarding job if you learn the techniques and learn what it is to commit yourself and dedicate yourself to doing what you need to do and making the decision that, hey, I'm gonna be a dog in this sport, right? And you can do it in more than one sport as well. I did football and track from 7th grade all the way through college. Loved it, right? Because I knew track and field was going to help elevate my skills, elevate my speed, those fast twitch muscles that I needed to develop for football, right? So, um, those are the things that you might, need to be considering, okay, as a young athlete out there, that I may need to sometimes give when football season is over, I need to go do another sport because it's only going to help develop me in my main sport that I want to get a scholarship in. Okay, and sometimes you might get opportunities for scholarships in two sports because you're just that good. You're just that much a dog when you're out there competing and playing in those sports that you're competing in. And so you got to write your letters. You got to be consistent, right? You got to have some consistency. And if you do things with some consistency, okay, then you're going to get some of the results. You may get better results than you realize, but you're definitely going to get some results. So as I said, whether you're watching me live or recording, man, be sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Be sure you follow me on my, IG at Coach Smith 27 and at Love the Game 24/7 on IG. You can follow me on TikTok at Love the Game 24/7. But be sure you hit that subscribe button on my YouTube channel. Also, I'm on Facebook. But get the word out, about what's going on with Love the Game 24/7 podcast and get this viewership up, man, and get the word out there to help some of you parents out there who don't really understand or know what to do and how to do some things because you don't realize there's more people don't know what to do than people who do know what to do because this is new for a lot of people, because maybe you as a parent didn't go as far in your sport or you didn't play sports at all, or you didn't get a scholarship. It's no big deal. But you got a child, you got a young daughter, you got a young man that's excelling in their sport. Um, and they probably are because you learned from your own mistakes, to be sure that they do better than you and they are doing that. And you want to be sure that it's set up right. Um, and so that's what I'm here for. And like I said, I'm a part of offense, defense as well. And you guys need to definitely consider that. So go to o-d.com, o-d.com, and get some information about offense, defense, and how you can help your young person better their skills in football because it's a football specific recruiting service. Also, we have an all-star game coming up in December 26th through the 29th in Texas Stadium, um, this coming December. And as coaches or a parent or a position coach, if you want to nominate some of your kids and send some video, you can do that. And you want to do that. Um, and so definitely, take a look at what offense, defense, and what we're all about. Because we're about some good things, and we want to help young people be successful and get to where they want to be in their sport. Um, and there's a lot of things I can, even share when you sign up with offense, defense, and you're working with me with Coach Smith. I'll be able to give you some more um, detailed things like a workout training program in the weight room, how you should be lifting weights, um, and how you need to rotate your schedule with your weightlifting to get the best results that you need to to get. And and I can tell you that because I did it. I learned from my uncle who was big in lifting weights. when I was young, when I was in middle school. My brother was in high school, and I loved doing it because I saw how much it made me a better athlete. Um, Also, just helping you clear your mind. Also, it's good to go work out, and enjoy getting in there and training and making yourself better, physically and mentally, and eating better. So, things I share with you, I know work because I did it myself. I got bigger, stronger, and faster. It was a time where I didn't realize, like, man, why am I not having seen the results? Because I wasn't doing some things right, correct way. So when my uncle took the time to teach us, how we need to do things, I'm not going to give you all the secrets. You need to sign up with Coach Smith and Love the Game 24/7. I'll tell you some of the secrets out there that you need to do and how you need to um, get the results. Also, if you're gonna, want to need to get on the track, whether you run track or not, I can give you track workouts and show you how to do some speed work. Because a lot of guys don't know how to run the right way. So a lot of times that's why some athletes don't, run the 40 like they, could potentially run because they don't know how to start correctly. They don't know how to jump out of that stance, going and get into that drive phase. And then, because some guys come straight up too fast, right? They got to learn how to get to that through that drive phase. And when you get to that through that drive phase and get that momentum going, you're gonna run the time, that you need to run. You know. So now some people just don't have it. But now you can always get a little faster. Okay. You may not be a burner, but those who got or who have some decent speed, you can become a burner if you lift a certain way and you train and and work those fast twitch muscles and get out there on that track and do some track and field skills. You can get yourself faster, but you have to be dedicated to it. So those are some things that you'll be able to learn as you partner with us. And like I said, but go to that o-d.com and check out offense, defense. And like I said, you can also email Coach Smith. You can DM me. Matter of fact, you can follow me also on Twitter, on my Twitter at ODR365NC. That's ODR, offense, defense, registration, ODR 365 NC for North Carolina. Um, you can follow me there on my Twitter account. Um, right now, guys, I'm telling you, I'm connecting with college coaches. I'm following a lot of college coaches, and they're following me back. I'm building relationships with college coaches so I can help you young athletes, especially football players. Um, you know, but if I get some other athletes playing some other sport, I'll start following coaches in those sports. But I'm getting a lot of coaches who are, um, following me back. They're DMing me on Twitter. They're connecting me with me. And I'm talking mainly football right now. Um, so I'm building relationships. So when I do see somebody who's capable of playing at the next level, they're gonna take my advice. They're gonna listen to me. I'm gonna look at your video. I'm gonna assess what you look like. So I'm getting connections right now. I'm building connections and building relationships, starting out um with Twitter, with college coaches. Um, I have coaches sharing their cell number with me, and I'm sharing it with them, and I'm going to do everything I can to give them some good players who are doing what they need to do so they can get an opportunity to go play at whatever level it is. So just know, Coach Smith is not just running his mouth, because I'm all about trying to help you young people fulfill your dream. Because I wish, I lost my father at a young age to cancer. So I had to learn from watching my older brothers, um, from their things that they did right and the things that they didn't do right, did wrong when it came to recruiting. They told me what I needed to do because they didn't do it and didn't know to do it until they got in college. And they made sure to pass it on to me and my other buddies that I grew up with, to be sure we did things better so we can get more notoriety and attention so we can get scholarship. And we did those things. So like I said, I'm telling you right now, I have people that college coaches I'm connecting with, and they're connecting back with me, right? Because these coaches want to know, because they know sometimes they might miss something. They may miss seeing someone, and they don't want to miss seeing somebody that can help their program. Okay. And so if I feel like you're an athlete, that's partnering with me and signing up with me with the program with offense, defense, and as these college coaches reach out to me and, directors of recruiting, player personnel, you know, these guys are trying to keep their job. They need to bring in some good talent. They need to sign good talent, right? And because of that, They want to build relationships with coaches, and make contacts with as many people as they possibly can, so they can bring in good talent, right, to help progress their program. So it's all about relationships, guys. I keep telling you. You come on this podcast, if you're listening to this live or if you're listening to this recording, it's all about relationships. And you got to learn to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. You got to get out your comfort zone. If you're not somebody who's used to talking, that's okay. You'll learn when you start seeing the results and people start saying, hey, they're interested in you, and they're considering giving you a scholarship. If that don't get you moving in a direction that you're not used to moving in, you'll do it, or you get some name, image, and likeness opportunities, because some of these coaches can't give scholarships. They will give name, image, and likeness money that they know that they have, and they'll spread it out amongst some players that they can't give scholarship money to, but they can give some name, image, and likeness money to help them pay for their education. But you have to be that person. You have to be that young lady. You have to be that young man in your sport for them to invest in you. You have to show and continue to prove your value, right? And so you have to take care of yourself mentally, you have to take care of yourself physically. You have to have good relationships, healthy relationships, right? You can't have people who these relationships, boyfriends and girlfriends who aren't paying that bill. All right, let me just get real. Let me just get 100 with you. That boyfriend, that girlfriend ain't paying. They're not paying your college education bill. So if they want to pull on you and distract you, it's time to drop. It's time to move on. I don't need some dead weight trying to take up my time all the time. Right. Sometimes that's why some athletes date other athletes, because they know they're respectful of what, in most cases, that both of us are, and we have things that we have to do. And hey, if we want to see each other, we can see each other in the gym, in the weight room, on the track, whatever it is that we, need to do, where we can spend time with each other, but at the same time, put some work in and have a healthy relationship with each other and encourage one another. You don't have time for people pulling on you, especially if they're not an athlete, or even if they are an athlete. It's a balance, you know, and you have to use those resources that you need to use if somebody is being a bother to you. Okay, so don't hesitate to, um, to use those types of things where you may have to have security or somebody, because if they're, stalking you or whatever, and they just, um, those things happen, and we need to nip them in the bud, right? But you don't have time, young lady, young man, with a boyfriend or a girlfriend that's going to be dead weight, right, and not help you be successful, in your sport, because they're not paying your bill. Either you are, and your parents are paying a little something out of their pocket. You don't need to be wasting your parents' money and time, and you don't need to do yourself an injustice like that either, and don't do it to somebody else either. Be respectful of of that person and what they're trying to accomplish and what they're trying to do in their life. Be an asset, not a liability, to each other. So I just want to give you some of those things to think about, you know. But hey, like I said, I'm excited. It's NFL season, regular season time, you know. So, like I said, I hope some of the folks answered my poll that I put out there on Facebook on who you got, Chiefs or Ravens. Whether, like I said, this is live or whatever, or you're watching the recording, man, put it in the comments on who you have. But I need you guys to help pump up Coach Smith's viewership on YouTube, right? Because we got to help as many people as possible make their dreams come true at playing college football, basketball, baseball, whatever it is, swimming, golf, tennis. Recruiting is recruiting. You always hear me say that. I don't care what sport it is, male or female. Recruiting is recruiting. Even with all this social media, it's still about relationships. And some of you athletes don't put enough time in building relationships with coaches. Because some coaches feel like, man, maybe you're not interested because I haven't heard from you in like a month, 2 months, right? And that's a problem. And I know some of you all have your heart set on going to certain schools, and that's cool. But what if those certain schools that you want to go to aren't really showing you that love like some other schools? Still at the level you may want to compete at, you want to play at, or step down. But like I said, you guys got to learn how to navigate through the transfer portal. There's a way to navigate through that transfer portal. It just cause you didn't start out going Division 1 or FCS, FBS, FCS. You had to start out NAIA or Division 2. right? Or even in Division 3. I just saw a young man the other night, couple of weeks ago, on playing for one of the teams, played for um, a university out of New York, Cortland University Division 3 program. He's in the NFL. Why? Because no matter what level you play at, if you are a dog at that level, if you are the man or if you are the lady at whatever level you are, they are going to find you and they are going to give you an opportunity. Because if you're the top dog in Division 3, there's a chance you probably could have been in a Division 2 or a Division 1 program. And that happens, because I know it does happen. Happened to many guys I know I grew up with that I knew were better ball players than Division 2, where some of us had to go play. But we were willing to go play where we could go play and get our education and ball out. And now with the transfer portal, they will take you. But man, like I said, when I turn on that film, whether you're in high school or college and you're looking to transfer when you get to college, because we ain't just leaving you after high school. We still work with you even after you get in college and you may want to transfer. Coach Smith is here and helping you and reaching out. But that video, you got to give me something, right? You got to give me something to sell to a college recruiter, in your character, in your work ethic, in your commitment, in being consistent, right? In doing what you have to do. Okay? Because when you get to the level where you want to be, it still ain't going to be smooth sailing. It's still going to be some bumps in the road, even when you are successful at getting where you want to be, right? You may have to deal with some injuries. You may have to deal with a lot of different things. You got to, sometimes we're dealing with family situations where people are pulling on you, and you gotta sometimes love them at a distance, right? Or put some boundaries up so you can keep your sanity and keep performing at your level, so you can possibly make the money you can potentially make to help change your family situation. And sometimes you need somebody to advocate for you and help you out, to even talk to your family and say, hey, look, hey, she got to keep her head on right so she can perform, right? You can't just keep pulling on her and come into the pot, and you're not um, helping them be successful. If you just somebody, a family member that's always pulling on them and trying and seeing what you can get, that's not good either. That's not healthy. That's not good for your athlete. That can help change your family dynamics financially and relationally. We got to think about those kind of things. People don't think about those things, man. But you need to. That's why I got this show. Been there, right? Working through it. All right. You got to be willing to tell the truth. Okay. And we got to learn, we got to put a stop to some of this nonsense, right? Because we need some healthy young people, right? We need them successful, you know. And so that's what it's about. I'm just being real with you. That's why I said you need to get this word out to some folks, right? So we can stop some of the nonsense that's going on and help our young people be successful. You know, help them change, the direction of their families. Let's be a help. Help schedule things, help make sure they're getting rest, right? Help making sure people aren't taking up their time. That's where a family member or a good friend should step in at. Making sure they're being an asset to you, a help to you, so you can be, uh, that dog that you need to be, right? So, I just wanted to come share a little bit of that for um, a little bit, for about an hour or so. But I just wanted to let you guys know, man, I am excited. I'm cancer free. Um, 3 weeks out of having surgery, I'm feeling great. And I'm gonna take my time and get back to working out as soon as my doctor releases me to get back out to do some training like I was doing before. I'm not gonna rush things, making sure like my wife tell me, she's a nurse, 30 plus years. She knows what she's talking about. She's a holistic nutritionist as well, and she stay on me, and I'm thankful. Um, I appreciate it, Joe. Um, Appreciate your brother, my man Joe Daffington on Facebook, man. Appreciate the love, man. So um, thank you guys, and like I said, join me. Um, yeah, man. All glory to God. That's right, for being healthy. I got grandkids. I know I look 35. And you might not think I got grandkids, but I got grandkids. Um, my oldest son and my daughter-in-law blessed us with two beautiful grandbabies. Y'all know my daughter-in-law. Some of you all may know who my daughter-in-law is, the real Kim, KYM, the real Kim. She has a huge following. My son, who plays pro football, has a huge following. Look them up. They're on YouTube with a vlog. My beautiful grandchildren, Jace and Kamora, my little Papa and my Muffin. They are my heart, and I'm gonna do everything I can to be around as long as I can. Um, you know, so that's what it's all about: family, friends. You know, um, and let's make sure we are there for each other, man. So, like I said, I'm excited, man. It's football season time, and I'm ready to get this thing going. Do my fantasy with my brothers tonight. My ESPN fantasy. So, like I said, join me Sunday at noon with my buddy Jason Thomas, former college teammate who's over in Finland. Um, like I said, he's been coaching and teaching American football over there for 20 plus years since he got out of college. And he's going to share, what he's been doing and what's going on in Europe, with football. Because this sport is big. Like we know, this game is being played in the States on Thursday, but the Friday night game I think is in Brazil, and I can't remember the teams. I think it's Philly and Green Bay. I think Philadelphia and Green Bay are Friday, and so let's get it. I think they're playing over in Brazil or somewhere um, on Friday night's game, and then we got some great college football still going. BC, where my oldest son went, did the do to Florida State, to FSU, to them Noles, like I knew they could. So shout out to my BC, We Are BC Eagles family out there who may be catching this on Twitter when I repost it and all those great things, man. It was great watching some of that. I know that LSU game was a big game as well against USC. Man, USC defense, man. I haven't seen them play defense like that, man, for over a decade. Right? They were always all about offense, but that defense, man, there's some great college ball gonna happen right out here, man. That kid at Robert Morris, that snatched that one-handed interception, man. Just the body control, man. These kids, I tell you, these kids today, man. They learn at a much faster pace than we did, man. And they're so talented and athletic, and it's scary. You know, um, it's scary good. Let me just say that. Not good. I even watch my grandbaby, man. He's just like his dad, son. Both my boys, they caught on. They just soaked it up, you know. But I made sure I exposed them to the right things so they could, so that stuff would come to them easy and have a love for the game for themselves, right? But like I said, be a dog. Make that decision to be a dog. If you know that you have the ability to play college sport, um, yeah, be a dog. Yeah, get that Joe Powell. Joe Powell NFL workout. Yes, sir. I see you on there on my IG. Yes, sir, Joe. Um, you know, um, yes, sir. Yep. You always need a great dad on your side, man. I don't have a problem being a father figure to some young men. I've done it on many occasions and still doing it and glad to do it. Because everybody's not blessed to have that sometimes. So um, some of you older men out there that's coaching, be that genuine dad to some of these young men out there that they need some direction. And if you don't know, right? If you don't know, you find somebody that knows. You get them connected with Coach Smith and Love the Game 24/7. And let's get busy. Let's get the work put in. If you're willing to put in the work, man, you'll get rewarded for it. You know. So, and you young ladies the same. I see too many young ladies who were talented back when I grew up that missed their opportunity to be great athletes beyond high school because they were great in high school, but nobody was there telling them, right? And so they missed it. And I don't want you young ladies to miss it, right? All right, Joe. I'll check my DMs for sure. Yeah, hit me up. I'll check my DM and get back with you. Um, um, Talking to my man Joe Powell on my IG. But yeah, guys, I don't want to keep you, but like I said, join me Sunday at 12. Um, Enjoy football opening day tomorrow, Friday. College football on Saturday. Well, college football. I think sometimes they have some games on Wednesdays. But definitely, I know they'll have some games tomorrow night and Friday night, and definitely into Saturday for college football, right? Um, but yeah, like I said, you guys can follow me. You can email me at love the 247game@gmail.com if you want information on how to work with Coach Smith and love the game 24/7. You can follow me on Twitter at ODR365NC as well. You can follow me on Coach Smith 27 on IG or Love the Game 24/7 on IG. Right. Um, so hit me up. Let's get it. Um, and if you're willing to sign up with the service to help you, I'm gonna give you my all, right, and tell you how the things need to go. Because some of it is not always put on me. I'm gonna teach you on what you need to do, right? Because when you're the recruit, they want to get to know you and they want to get to know who your family is. And if you are some situations where you don't have that dad or parent around, somewhat necessary, that's where I can come in. And we have to build a relationship. But you need to be able to give me something to be able to help. So 'cause sometimes these recruiters will call somebody like myself and say, "Hey, man, this kid family because we really want them. What kind of relationship do you have with them? Because they want me to come in and try to help convince them, you know, to convince the athlete to come to their institution, right? You know, so they're going to reach out because it's all about relationships. What I'm trying to tell you, it's all about relationships. And I want to get you paid. I want to get you scholarships. I want to get paid too. You know, of course, I'm putting time in, but I want to get you paid. I want to get you that scholarship. I want to get you some of that name, image, and likeness money, right? That's where I get my, enjoyment is when I see you on signing day, national signing day, signing your scholarship. That's what it's about. That's what I get my enjoyment more than anything, more than even getting paid. Is hey man, I'm glad. I thank God for being a part of this young lady or this young man signing that scholarship on signing day because they got some place to go to continue to play ball, right? Whatever sport it is, male or female, they're getting the opportunity to do something they love that can pay for their education. Take the burden off of mom and dad, right? As I've shared before, my mom had no clue and still can't tell you today how much my education cost, right? She still can't tell you because when I got the knowledge, when I got the information about what I needed to do to get a scholarship, what? What? When I got that information, because I love, man, look here, I love me playing. I love me some football. And when I got the information, boy, when somebody told me this is what I need to do. Okay, I need to write some letters. All right, okay, I'm gonna write some letters. Okay, I need to do such. Oh, I need to make some phone calls. Okay, let me go look up. So y'all don't know because it's easy for y'all to find phone numbers and stuff today, right? With the DMs and Twitter, man, I had to go find that little Excel spreadsheet phone book that was thick as I don't know what, and look up phone numbers and call 1-800 numbers and convince people to transfer me to the athletic department, to the football office. It took some work, really, back then, more than it does today. But when somebody told me, hey, that's what you need, hey man, go get that book in the office at the high school. It has every address, every phone number for every college and university. They would update it like monthly or something like that and reprint it or yearly, whatever it was. And I knew to go get the addresses to the schools. I would look them up in the office at the high school, back at Lakewood, the Wood, Hollywood High. I would go in that office. I had a good relationship with our administrative assistant for the principal that was in there, and she would lay some stuff out for me and help me out. Man, yeah, KT, yeah, my Dr. KT on here, my brother, he knows. I used to make them VHS tapes and sending them out. I used to get my boys and man, look, this is what we need to do. Let's get these VHS tapes. It's easy, man. Y'all just click a button. It took some work for us back in the day. But man, when I got the knowledge, man, when somebody who was willing to tell me what to do, man, look, it was all she wrote. That's the term we used to say. It was all she wrote. You ain't have to tell me too much more. I was gonna do it. And I was gonna pull some of my homeboys to do the same thing. Heck, I used to write some of their letters for them because I ain't want them to miss out. make videotapes and stuff for them too. You know, it wasn't just about me. I didn't want my boys to be left behind. So, and most of my boys, we got scholarships. We eventually got scholarships and played college ball and got degrees. And Dr. KT on here on my Facebook, he's a doctor now. You know, as much trouble we used to get in, you'd have never thought Dr. KT was gonna be a doctor. He was always smart and he proved it. We just needed a chance. That's all we wanted was a chance. All right, guys. So I'm gonna sign off. You know, um, so I appreciate you guys joining me. Much love and appreciation. Um, so that's what it's all about, man. Spreading the word. Getting the word spread out. To help those we can help. Um, but yeah, so thanks for joining me. Powell, I'll check my DM for sure. Um, but like I said, guys, help get the word out. Help get my viewership up on my YouTube. Everywhere. My TikTok. Um, but man, y'all have a great evening. Enjoy the opening day tomorrow night. Get your fantasy squared away, right? Take care of your business because I'm getting my fantasy done tonight. Um, but I appreciate you guys joining me, man. Y'all have a great, great one. And just be sure, you know, we take care of that business, right? So just run out with my Run DMC boys. Shout out you. All right, let me get out of here. Y'all take it easy, folks.